Good morning, guys. Good morning. And how are you? I hope you are all okay and good. My name is Waitumelo Mukwena, ma'am Waitumelo Mukwena. I'll be teaching you guys social sciences, grade 5. I hope you're in the right class. As I told you yesterday, today we will be doing history. We are moving from geography to history. And our topic will be about South African first farmers. Okay, South African first farmers. Guys, what do you think are farmers? When we say farmers, what comes to your mind? Farmers. Tabiso.
Ma'am,
Yes.
and what comes to mind when I hear farmers, ma'am? I think of people that grow crops, ma'am, and they had cows, ma'am. They have
They do
cows,
what?
ma'am. They grow plants, ma'am, and they look after animals, ma'am.
Yes, they grow plants and look after the animals. That is correct. Thank you, Tabiso. Milekiu.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi, how are you?
Fine, and you, ma'am?
I'm good.
Ma'am, I'm using my social science textbook grade 5. I use a platinum textbook. So the thing is the first. So it says when they were the first African farmers settled in southern Africa.
Come again?
So, ma'am, so it says by about 25 AD, farmers had moved into southern Africa from further north. By
Yes.
400 AD, they had settled all over South Africa except for the dust areas. The, there was no rainfall, and the Western Cape there was winter rainfall. White
Yes.
people from European only settled in South Africa in 1652 AD.
Yes.
And then it says, what is BC and AD? The little BC and AC was used to talk about time. AD stands for anonymous Deuteronomy. These are little words that means in the year of the Lord of our Lord. BC stands for the word before Christ. Christ used the birth of Jesus Christ as a point from which to measure time. AD dates are counted forward from the date of Christ's birth until today. BC dates are counted backwards from the date of Christ's birth. Another way of naming the calendar is to use the theme. So it's CE, and before the common era BCE. Instead, for BC and AC, the number values of this statement are the same.
Thank you very much. Thank
Pleasure,
you.
Mayor.
Clap hands for yourself. You did your homework. I told you to go read about African farmers. Thank you. We have Yandisa.
Morning,
Yes.
ma'am.
Morning. How are you?
Fine, thanks, and you?
I'm okay.
I have a statement here about the first farmers.
Okay, tell us the statement.
Okay. About 3,000 years ago, people in Central Africa began to grow crops. Every few years, these farmers would have to move on. They had to do this because the crops had taken the goodness out of the soil. The soil was then no longer fertile. Slowly, the farmers moved southwards. These farmers also had cattle and sheep. Early African farmers moved into the wheat field of northeastern eastern part of southern Africa over 8,000 years ago. This is the summer rainfall region of South Africa. They herded sheep and cattle. They grew myrtle and sorghum, and these farmers made poetry. Some of the farmers were iron workers. They also traded in iron-very chiefdoms. These were led by a local chief. In some places, the settlements were large and operated under a king. One of the early kingdoms was Bamukbe in present-day Limpopo. It was wealthy and powerful in the early 12,000s. You will learn more about Bunga later in the year.
Thank you, Yandisa. Can clap hands for yourself. Thank you for doing your homework as well. It shows that you have read. Thank you so much. Amanda. Amanda.
Ma'am,
Yes.
the first farmers moved into southern Africa 2,000 years ago. They
Yeah.
moved there from the areas around Cameroon West in West Africa. This is why many of languages they are called the Bantu languages. Bantu-speaking farmers first settled along the east coast of Africa. This map shows how the Bantu-speaking farmers moved and southeast west from Africa. These early African farmers built houses and villages. They kept small herds of sheep, goats, and cattle. By 1300 AD, some communities kept large herds of animals. Cattle
Yes.
became very valuable to them. These farmers
But
also made tools and weapons from iron. This is meant because they could grow more food to eat and to trade. Because the farmers could grow more food, it was possible to feed more people. Villages and communities grew larger and more powerful. We know about the first farmers because archaeologists have found remains of houses and artifacts. For example,
okay.
pots to be found at Leidenburg. The first farmers made pots to store food. Iron spearheads from Mzonjani. The first farmers hunted wild animals with iron-tipped spears. Golden rhinos from Mapungube. The first farmers traded.
Okay, Amanda. Thank you very much, Amanda. Thank you so much. You have made a summary of the whole chapter, actually. Thank you, Amanda.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, guys, we are out of time. I can see you, Sakura. You want to make your input, but we are really out of time. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna pick you up as we go, okay? So today we'll be learning about the first South African farmers. So stay tuned to learn more about it. 4 things to know about this lesson is that it will be based on the South African first farmers. By the end of the lesson, you should know who were the first farmers of South Africa, okay? who, where, they. That's what we are going to focus about. It's going to be a discussion, and then of course, so I can see you guys are talking so nicely. We should have a presentation, you know, one day, so that you can present your views and everything. I'm going to organize that. It's going to be fun, I believe. Okay, in our content, in this module, you will find answers to the following key questions. So in this chapter, today we are looking who were the first farmers of South Africa, okay? And then we'll also look at what were their attitude towards land to the other lessons, okay? But in this chapter, that's what we are going to learn about. We'll also learn about how did they interact with the Khoisan people. I believe you guys know who were the Khoisan. I'm going to ask you a question about them later on. Okay, we're also going to learn about what was their early African farmers' way of life. Okay, how did they live? All right, so we're also going to learn about what were their homestand and villages like, the places where they were staying, okay? And we also look at what crops and livestock did they farm. So if you wanna learn more about it, you can take a screenshot of these. These are the specific topics that we are going to look for, okay? The other ones, we are told not to go to them because of time, okay? So these are the topics that will be based on. Oh, there's another one. How was their society structured? Their chiefdoms and all those things, okay? In introducing my lesson, until about 10 years ago, most human societies lived a nomadic lifestyle, okay? Which means they did not stay in one place, okay? This meant that they regularly moved from one place to another, of course. So they did this because the animals, okay, please switch off your videos. They did this because the animals they hunted moved around, and the plants they gathered were only available in certain places, okay? And at certain time of the year, all right? So that's the reason why they were moving around, because the animals they hunted, they also moved around. Animals, wild animals don't stay in one place. So they moved around, and then the plants that they also gathered was only available in certain places. So that's the reason why until about 10 years ago, most people were living a nomadic lifestyle, okay? Also, people discovered that if they started farming by planting the seed of wild plants, they did not have to walk long distance around, okay, for food. So the African farmers thought that, you know what, if we can start farming or planting wild plants, we will not have to go around looking for food, okay? They also began to domesticate and raise animals like cattle, sheep, goat for food, which was meat and milk. And then they also used the animals for work, for plowing, okay? For plowing when they are farming. And they also use them for transportation. This meant that people began to settle in one place rather than living a nomadic lifestyle. Okay. Okay. As a result, the environment started to change. Farming changed people's life and the way they organized their societies. You get my point? Okay, guys, let's discuss. Brainstorm all the ways you think farming changed the way of people, the way people lived. Name your ideas. Sakura.
Ma'am, the first farmers in South Africa usually lived in huts which were made out of grass and dung from cows. They used that to keep their houses together, and then they didn't want to live. They didn't want to live nomadic lives, so they started to grow crops and started to be omnivores.
Very much correct, Sakura. Thank you very much. We have who? Mileku.
Ma'am, this is a Khoisan hunter. So the sand hunter-gatherers lived all over South Africa about 2000 years ago. Khoisan hunters arrived in the southern west part of Southern Africa from Utah Hills about 2,000 years ago. The Khoisan had a different way of life to the sand. The Khoisan were herds because they kept herds for animals such as sheep, goats, and cattle. Like the sand, they lived num- num- They did not have permanent homes but moved around. As summers changed to winter, they looked for the best grazing for their
Don't be
livestock.
too close to your mic.
We say that the Khoisan were pastorals because they loved after livestock.
Okay, thank you, Malaku. Thank you very much. I'm gonna take Yandi's. Yandi, say you last.
Ma'am,
Yes.
I think the way it changed their life is that they also like they moved around to different places and they could find bigger land so they can plant their crops and fruits and stuff. So then it's also much more fresher so they don't have to move around the whole time.
Yes, that's correct, Yandi sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Let's move. Who were the first farmers to arrive in South Africa? The first farmers in South Africa were the Bantu speakers. I believe, can you please write in the group chat the Bantu languages that you know? The first farmers in South Africa were the Bantu speakers. We know from the evidence that archaeologists have found that they migrated here between 1,700 and 2,000 years ago. This period is called the Iron Age because people living then learned how to work with ions. Okay, it was called the Iron Age because people living then, they learned how to work with ions. The farmers moved South Africa and Central Africa and settled in the present-day Zimbabwe, Mozambique, and South Africa. So they moved to these places, Zimbabwe, Mozambique, and South Africa. They brought with them the advantages of an Iron Age culture, farming skills, and domesticated animals. This is what they brought: Iron Age culture, farming skills, and domesticated animals. They settled in the eastern part of South Africa at first, then across the high veld. They needed more land for grazing and to plant crops because their population was growing. Okay, they needed more land for grazing and to plant crops because their population was growing. The new African farmers brought with them, number one, the Bantu languages, as I've said. I told you guys to name the Bantu languages that we know in the group chat. Okay, Yandisa says Xhosa, Zulu, Sutu. No, Yandisa, Sutu is not part of the Bantu languages. Okay, the first two are correct. Sakura says Randi, Rwanda, Shona, Xhosa, and Zulu. Yes, that is correct. Who else? Okay, moving on. Those were the Bantu languages. They also brought with them skills for growing crops, okay? They brought with them skills for growing crops. They settled a settled village life, okay? They brought with them a settled village life. So meaning they came with a new way of staying in villages, not moving around, okay? They also brought mental tools, okay? Tools that they can use for farming, domesticated animals. They also brought domesticated animals such as sheep, cows. So, how were the first farmers different from the Khoisan? Do you guys know who were the Khoisan? I want you to tell me the way the Khoisan were living. Raise your hand if you know more about the Khoisan. What were the Khoisan? Who were the Khoisan? Let me get Yandisa.
Ma'am?
Yes, do you know who were the Khoisan?
Yes, ma'am. The Khoisan were the people who lived here before us.
Yes, yes, yes. Those were the Khoisan. Yes. Do you think they are they different from the farmers?
Yes, ma'am.
Why?
It's because they didn't move around much, and the first farmers moved around.
Very much correct. Thank you, Yandisa.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, who else? Sakura. Sakura.
Ma'am, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Ma'am, the Khoisan usually use cattle as money, and they didn't move around a lot like the farmers, the first farmers. They weren't nomadic, ma'am. And then whenever a man wanted to marry a girl, they had to in they had to give the father a few cattle to marry their daughters.
Okay. Yes, yes, I'm listening. That's correct. Thank you, Sakura. Nhlenhle.
Yes, the Khoisan were Khoikhoi and they were hunting. Farmers were not hunting.
Yes, 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 Nhlenhle. That's correct. Thank you, Nhlenhle. Okay, no more hands. Okay, let's move. Okay, something went wrong. All right. How were the first farmers different from the Khoikhoi, who are the Khoisan, obviously? These farmers were different from the Khoikhoi because, as you can see on the picture, here, this is where the African farmers were living, and the Khoi did not stay in one place. Okay, so here the African farmers were even building house, you see, domesticating animals, farming, you see, they were living as a family. Okay, so these farmers were different from the Khoisan, because they started to plant crops. As you can see, they are planting crops, okay, and farming communities. They settled in permanent areas. These was their permanent areas, okay? That's how different they were, because the Khoi were nomadic people. They did not stay in one place, and they were hunters and gatherers. So this one, they were staying in one place, and then they planted crops, they domesticated their own animals for food, milk, and meat, okay? Classroom activity. Okay, let's talk, guys. Who were the first farmers? Who were the first farmers? We have an activity. Yandisa?
Ma'am,
Yes, you're
the
on.
first farmers were the Bantu speaking people.
Correct, yes. That is correct. Okay, they were the first. They were the Bantu speaking people. Okay, on the group chat, Leletu says the Bantu people. Lisedi says the Bantu people as well. And then Koketo, the Bantu people. Naledi also says the Bantu people. I also say the Bantu people. Yes, our answers are all correct. When did they arrive in South Africa? I told you. When did they arrive in South Africa? Okay, we have two participants. Okay, who are we having? Yandisa?
2,000 years ago, ma'am.
2,000 years ago. Yes, that's correct. We have Sakura. Sakura?
Ma'am,
Ma'am, can you hear me, ma'am?
can you
Yes, of course, I can hear you.
Okay, ma'am.
ma'am,
I said, ma'am, the archaeologists believe that the first farmers in southern Africa were around during the Iron Age, so
Yes,
around about 1,700 years ago to 2,000 years ago.
yes, that's correct. Can you please repeat what you said so that everybody can hear? I didn't hear you very well.
Archaeologists believe that the first farmers in southern Africa were around during the Iron Age, some around about 1,700 years ago to 2,000 years ago.
Yes, that's correct. Archaeologists believe that the African farmers arrived here between the 1,700 to 200 years ago. Okay. Okay, moving on the group chat, what are you guys saying? Do you have answers? Okay, Sakura says 200 years ago, 200 years ago, 200, 200, 200. Of course. Amanda also says 200 years ago. Bunono, okay. This says 200 years ago. That's correct, guys. I also agree with you, okay? They arrived here between 1,700 to 200 years ago. Your answers are correct. Thank you very much. Here's another question. What did the farmers bring to South Africa? What did they bring? They brought change, is it? So what change did they bring? We have Nhlenhle.
Ma'am?
It's Amanda.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
The farmers bring uh, they bring tools of their own because they made it out of their own, and they also brought weapons.
Yes, they brought tools and weapons.
And they also brought cattle, and they also brought other languages.
Yes, the Nguni.
Yes.
Yes, that's correct. Thank you, Miguel.
Yes,
Thank you
ma'am.
very much. We have who? Sakura.
Hey, can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. These people, the first farmers moved to South Africa for better grazing for their herds as well as fertile soil for the crops. They are believed to have come from Central and East Africa and brought many changes with them. Unlike the
Yes.
Unlike the inhabitants of southern Africa, for example the Khoisan herders and San hunter-gatherers, they were less nomadic and relied mainly on farming for their food. The new inhabitants of South Africa.
Correct. Thank you very much, Miguel. Sakura. Yandis.
Ma'am,
Yes, yes.
the first farmers were changed here by they brought ideas up about farming, and they didn't have to move around anymore because they could plant their own, they could start their own farm and keep their own cattle.
Yes, 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 that's correct. Thank you very much, Yandisa. Okay, who are we having? Nobody. On the group chat, Neo says iron tools. Yes, that's correct. Kheto says mental tools and domesticated animals. Yes, that's correct. Also says they brought iron tools, they brought Nguni languages, they brought ways of farming, they also brought domesticated animals. Okay. Leletu says iron tools. Yes, that's correct. Let's move on, guys. Okay, question number 4. Somebody already raised their hand. That's nice. What are Bantu languages? Mention any 3 languages you think the Bantu farmers might have used. Okay. Let me see who I'm gonna pick. Interesting. Yandisa.
Ma'am,
Yes.
the 3 languages were Zulu, Xhosa, and Shona.
Yes, 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 that's correct. That's correct. Let's move to the other one. Thank you very much. Sagura. Sakura.
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me? Ma'am, they spoke more than 3 languages, ma'am. They spoke Randi, Rwanda, and Shona, and Xhosa and Zulu, ma'am.
Yes. Do you know all those languages? Can you speak those languages?
No, ma'am.
You should go practice. We will be speaking them next week. I think
Okay, ma'am.
on Friday. Who else? Leletu.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello, how are you, Leletu? I can't hear you. Leletu? Yes? I can hear you. What's your answer? Yes? What's your answer? Can you try to move to another spot? I will unmute you, then you tell me your answer, okay? Because I think you have Zulu, Xhosa, and what? Okay, we have lost Leletu. Leletu said, I heard him saying Zulu and Xhosa. Yes, they are also correct. Amanda?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes?
Ma'am, they spoke isiZulu, Xhosa, and Shona.
That's correct. Amanda? Do you know Zulu, Xhosa, Shona?
Yes.
Really? Make a sentence in Zulu?
Ngiyakwazi ukukhuluma isiZulu.
In Xhosa? Okay, let's leave it. Go and practice, ne? Oh, yakwazi ukuthetha. Okay, ngiyakuzwa. Okay, right. Siyabonga. Okay, let's move. Okay, on the group chat, let me check your answers. Sorry. On the group chat, Amanda says isiZulu, a little bit of Xhosa, and I can speak a lot of Shona. Okay, Amanda can speak Shona. Before the end of the class, Amanda, you need to speak Shona to us, okay? You should remind me. And then we have Zulu, Xhosa, and Shona, which is Katlaho Hoto is saying that they spoke Zulu, Xhosa, and Shona. Malaka says, okay, nothing. Let's move. Okay, guys, you tell me the things you learned today before somebody speak Shona for us. Leletu. Yes.
I wasn't gonna speak Shona, ma'am. I was gonna finish my sentence.
No, it's not you. It's not you. When I tell me the things you learned today.
I learned that the first farmers were the Bantu people, and they like many languages that I don't know how to speak, but they are food that I know how to speak.
Okay.
That the Bantu people were speaking them. And I learned that they came 200 years ago.
Yes, they arrived in 200 years ago. That's correct. Leletu, your network is bad, my boy. You should try to move to another spot, okay? We have Neo.
Ma'am?
Yes.
Ma'am, I learned that the first farmers were actually Bantu people, and Amanda can speak Shona.
Yes, Amanda will speak Shona at the end of the lesson for us today. Thank you. That's all.
Yes, ma'am.
Amanda, be ready. We have Scince. Scince, what did you learn today?
Learn about Khoisan hunting.
Come again?
I learned about Khoisan hunting and farmers taking care of their plants.
Yes, that's correct. Scince, do you want to say more?
No, ma'am.
Thank you, Scince. Sakura. Sakura.
Ma'am, can you hear me now, ma'am?
Yes.
Ma'am, I've learned today about what languages what languages the first farmers spoke, and what type of people they were, and if they were hunter gatherers or were they nomadic.
All right. Thank you. It shows that you were listening. We have Ashfari. I don't know if I pronounced the name very well. I'm sorry.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, ma'am.
Yes. What did you learn today?
Ma'am, we learned about. Sorry, ma'am. We learned about sun hat animals.
Yes, that's true. Is that all?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Ashraf. Yandisa?
Ma'am,
Yes.
I learned that there are different kind of languages with Bantu speaking,
Yes.
and I also learned that how differently the Khoisan and the first farmers lived.
Yes, yes, that's true. Thank you, Yandisa.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, we have Amanda, the last participant, our Shona speaker. Amanda? Yes.
Ma'am, I learned that the Khoisan farmers were different in ways, but they got along.
They what?
I learned that the Khoisan and the first farmers were different, but they got along.
Okay, can you tell me that in Shona?
Okay.
Yes.
Ndakadzidza kuti Khoisan nevarimi vekutanga nakasiyana munzira asi variwanana.
Did you guys hear that? Thank you, Amanda. You have learned a lot. Thank you. I'm clapping hands for you. Okay, thank you. Okay, we have Ntando. Ntando. Okay, it's like I can't unmute Ntando. I don't know. Ntando, unmute yourself. Okay, I can't get hold of Ntando. Okay, so we are going to move. Yeah. So guys, I'm inviting you to our lesson tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be learning about the attitude of the first farmers to land. Is it we learned that they were farming, they came with the ways of farming, so we are going to learn about their attitude towards land. Okay, how did they change their land? All right. Let me check the time. No, there's no more time. Okay, guys, enjoy your lesson. Enjoy your next class. You should have a great day. You should download these books. If you want to be in contact with me, you can follow me on Instagram or this email. Okay. You should tell your friends to register in our school. Okay, at STEAM Digital School at African Teen Greeks. Okay. From me and the STEAM School, we love you. Take care, guys. Sanitize, wash your hands, eat healthy, drink a lot of water. Bye.